Hey, how are you doing, everybody? Hey, how are you doing, everybody? Sorry about that. So, Hillary DeFreitas, the marketing mom, how are you doing today? Another day in quarantine. Coronavirus has locked down a lot of parents with their children, and I am talking about how to safeguard your children from the internet world. As a work from home mom, I do everything from the internet, everything that I've been doing for the last 7 years. Online marketing, digital marketing, the internet could be a scary place. But at the same time, there are ways to keep yourself safe. Now, we as adults, even as adults, sometimes we don't keep ourselves as safe as we should when it comes to clicking on things and all that kind of stuff. And right now, there are a lot of students out there, whether they're from age 6 all the way up to age 18, who accounts have been created for them, email accounts, so that they could use Zoom, they could use Google Meet, all of these different tools, because that's what schools are doing now. University students, they've got accounts created for them from the time they walk in, right? So they've got a at, um, I don't call universities, but you know what? They got a at.edu, right? Email address. Um, but the reality is, for our primary and secondary school students, a lot of them locally don't have their own email address. And now parents are going and creating that so that they could facilitate the learning, all right, that their schools are putting out, mainly the private schools. I don't know if the public schools have started doing any online learning as yet. But regardless, what we're finding is that a lot of people who are not properly developed in the world of the internet and in the world of the dangers that the internet poses are being introduced to it at a time when maybe there's parent supervision, maybe there's not, all right? um, or let's just say the adult supervision isn't, you as the parent necessarily, because you may still have to go out to work for emergency services, whatever the case may be, and you're not at home. But you've got to keep in mind that your children aren't aware of what malware is. They are not aware of what spam is. They are not aware that if I click on something, I could blow up the entire computer, right? As we used to say in the old days, the blue screen of death appears. And the reality is, even in times like this, there are people who are doing good for everybody around. And then there are people like the companies like Zoom, like Thinkific. There are many others that I've been seeing. Doing a lot of free and providing free resources for educators, for businesses to be able to continue their work of doing what they're supposed to be doing while in this quarantine environment. And the reality is, there are also others out there who are sitting down with bad intentions, waiting to strike, waiting to pounce. I'll be quite honest with you, in the last week, my spam folder has exploded. And whereas I used to clear it out in a month, I've now had to clear it out in a couple of days, because it's ridiculous the amount of spam and the amount of just bad information that's coming out there. And the reality is, if you've had to create an email account for your children, they are just sitting down waiting to send that information. So the first thing I want to tell you is, and it may be obvious, but it may not be so obvious, but the first thing you want to safeguard in this time is, don't create an email address with your child's name. Okay. That may seem like the easiest thing to do, because as adults we all have email addresses that are our name, right? That is what we were told to do from a professional standpoint. But remember, you're creating an account for a child, the same way you would protect a child if you go to the mall or if you go to any public places. You need to keep in mind, like, a friend of mine was telling me that she never calls her child's name in public. She has a code that she calls her child so that nobody else could call her child. Now, let's think about the internet as just, that big, big amusement park that your child could get lost in. So don't create an email address with their name in it. All right. That's the first thing. The second thing is, teach them the email accounts that they are going to receive information from. All right. So whether it's the teacher's email account, the principal, whoever it is, you If you're going to send them emails, maybe you're going to send them motivational things during the day. I don't know, right? But teach them the email addresses. Remember, in the olden days, we used to teach our kids from the time they could recognize numbers. We teach them their home phone number, mommy's phone number, daddy's phone number. Well, you got to do the same thing with the email now. You've got to teach them the email addresses that they are going to be receiving information from that's important for them. Everything else, don't touch. Just put the band on it. Just don't touch it. Now, I know human nature is you tell somebody, don't touch the fire, they go and they touch the fire. All right? You want to figure out a way, you know your child, and if you don't, here's a great opportunity to get to know them. But explain to them the dangers. Tell them if you click on any link other than your teacher's, you may put a virus on the computer and you can never play games again, if that's what you have to do. All right, but make it something that's going to impact them. It's not, oh, mommy is not going to be able to work on the computer. No, yes, it's probably a family computer that everybody has to use, but no, maybe it's something that they do on the computer. They play games or they watch movies or whatever the case may be. Tell them that if they click on something, it could infect the entire internet in the house and they can't watch Netflix for the rest of the week. See how they don't touch it. Okay, so those are the type of things that you have to be doing, putting them in place. All right, so don't create an email address with your children's name on it. It's like putting a megaphone into the internet and saying my child's name is, and you could come and do whatever you want with my child. Don't do that. Number two, teach your children the email addresses that they will be receiving information from. Their teacher's email address, maybe your email address, maybe the principal. It's not going to be that many. And then the third thing is lock everything else off. Okay, all of the spam and everything, lock it off. You go in there and start clearing it out if you have to on a weekly basis. They cannot click on anything because you are now opening up yourself to the malware, the mal behavior, all of the internet people who are out there that just sit down and create viruses. That's what you're opening up yourself to when you do this. It's important that you have to do it right now, right? For your children to continue their learning, continue their education, but you don't have to just let it run loose, run wild, okay? You could put things in place to protect yourself, protect your family, and most importantly, to protect your children. All right. Have a great day. If this has been valuable to you, please go ahead and share the information. Want to get more tips and tricks? You know where to find me. You subscribe, HillaryDeFreitas.com. I'm not only a mom in this COVID-19 quarantine time, but I am also a marketing mom. I do a lot of digital marketing and social media training. So if you have questions, you need guidance on anything right now going on, how to do this, how to do that, I've been doing it for quite a long time, and a lot of it seems like second nature to me now. But I know for a lot of people who they're now entering the world of work from home, it may be a little daunting. Hit me up. I've got free 30-minute sessions on my calendar waiting for you to just schedule. Okay, so have a great day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.